Hi guys, let's talk about MongoDB installation. There are basically two ways through which you can use MongoDB. One, you can use self-hosted MongoDB or you can use cloud-hosted MongoDB. Talking about self-hosted MongoDB, this is where you install MongoDB on your machines and your servers, but then you take care of security patches, backups, replication, and even partitioning. More of the work is left on you as the user or as the administrator. The other option is cloud-hosted MongoDB through platforms such as Atlas, where more of the work is taken off from you. They take care of the security, scaling, backups, partitioning, and even replication. Yours is to deploy a cluster and leave the rest of the work to the service provider. Think of this as database as a service. Now, for self-hosted MongoDB, this is good for small workloads such as testing, development, and even staging. But for enterprise applications or applications that have huge loads of work, consider cloud-hosted databases for optimal performance and also scalability on demand. So stick around to find out how you can install MongoDB locally, since this is the focus of this
Well, hi
video.
guys, let's install MongoDB locally on our machine. First thing you need to do is to go to MongoDB website or just Google download MongoDB for Linux Ubuntu. Linux Ubuntu because we are going to be installing MongoDB on my Linux Ubuntu operating system. Install MongoDB on Ubuntu. Then the first link says install MongoDB Community Edition on Ubuntu. Click on MongoDB Edition, Community Edition. And then here we are. This is the manual that you need to follow to install MongoDB on your Ubuntu Linux distro. You check the overview here. We can use apt package manager to install MongoDB. And then going down here, you see we need to confirm that we meet the system requirements. And to do that, you can run this command to know the release of your Ubuntu version. So I can copy this and then I can fire up my terminal by just pressing Ctrl Alt and T, and that will bring up my terminal, and then I can paste that command here to give me the Ubuntu distro that I'm running here. As you can see, the distribution ID is Ubuntu, the release is 24.04, the name is Noble, and this is the long-term support, which means my machine meets the requirements needed to install Ubuntu, to install MongoDB on Ubuntu. So once you are here, we have official packages for MongoDB. So we have MongoDB package, which is maintained and supported by MongoDB Inc., which is MongoDB itself. And then we also have MongoDB ORG package, always contains the latest version of MongoDB, and is available also in the dedicated repo. You can read through this and just understand what it means. To install MongoDB Community Edition, now this is the interesting part that we need. First, you need to import the public key. To import the public key, you'll use the terminal to install the GNUGP and curl if they're not already available. We'll just install them without looking at that, so because there's no harm, you can even get the updates. So just click on that, and going back to our terminal, we are going to paste that right here. So let me just clear the terminal here and paste what we want, and then paste in your password, and that will check if you have them installed. As you can see, we have the GNUGP is already installed in the newest version. So what we're going to install here could be curl, or we want to upgrade. Actually, we're going to install curl. So just press enter or Y to authorize that operation. So that will take some time. While that is happening, now to import the MongoDB public GPG key, run the following command. Just copy that command again, go back to your terminal, and once this is done, you need to clear the terminal again and then add that what we call the GPG public key right there. So while that is happening, that is done, we want to go to the next step, which is to create the list file. Now, how do you do this? You need to check or select the Ubuntu version that you are running. In this case, you are running 24.04. Remember, we have 22.04 and we have 20.04. So 24.04, which is the Noble code name, just click on that command to copy, and then going back to your terminal, we are going to paste it right here to create that list. So that is done. And then now we want to reload that package for that database. So to do that, we need to type sudo apt-get update. Copy the command again, come back to your terminal session, paste that, press enter. So this will take some time because it's basically upgrading. So that should be done in a moment. Done. So we can clear our terminal again and then move to the next step, which is now to install MongoDB Community Server. Now to install this server, I'll just pick on the latest release because this has the latest features. To do this, we need to type sudo apt-get install and then just accept everything, MongoDB org. Remember, we were told the org is the official package, which is maintained by MongoDB Inc. So we are in the right path. So we need to copy this command, go back to our terminal, and then paste it right there. Depending on your internet and the speed of your machine, this should take some time, more or less depending on your machine and the internet speed. As you can see, this is going at a speed of 1.9 MB per second, 2.7 MB per second. So this won't take much time. Yeah. So our MongoDB package is installed. And so the next step is to start or run the MongoDB Community Edition on our machine. Let's go back to the documentation and find out how to do that. We need to check on the ulimit considerations, and this you can check if you face problems. So for now, we're going to leave it the way it is. And then here we have the directories that are created when we install MongoDB. So we have MongoDB in the the logs. You will find them here in the var log MongoDB. Also, you can check the directory, which is var lib MongoDB. So this is something we can actually check right away. Just open a file manager, and then we're going to go to the home directory. Just go to the root directory here, Ubuntu, and then what we have here is that we can check on the var folder lib MongoDB. So let's see. So we look for the var lib and then MongoDB right here. So all the data files, you'll find them here. If you create a database, if you create a collection, everything will be right inside here. And then also we have the logs. Remember, we need to log everything that happens in your database. So this we're going to find in the same directory, in the log subdirectory and the MongoDB folder. So let's go to var log and MongoDB. Going back here, var, and then we go to the log, and then we need to look for MongoDB right here. So here you'll find all the logs while your MongoDB is running. If you want to examine the errors, troubleshoot them, you can always check the logs right from here. Going on, now you see the procedure of starting a MongoDB system. First, you need to follow all these instructions here, and just to ensure that you have MongoDB org official package, because this is the official package. Now this will only work for the official package, and if you try using the MongoDB which is provided by Ubuntu, this might throw you into problems and might not work as expected. Now to run and manage this, you need MongoDB process, which is like the engine for running MongoDB locally. So we need to confirm whether our system is using systemctl or using the systemv, which is service command. So if you are unsure which init system your platform uses, you can run the following command. But I'm sure my machine uses systemd. Now let's just confirm that to be sure that everything works fine. Copy that command, come back to your terminal, clear everything, and then paste. Fantastic. So our system uses systemd. So if it is using systemd, you need to select appropriately here. If yours is using systemv in it, then select that. But ours is systemd. So I'm going to start MongoDB. Now you can start MongoDB, which is the MongoDB process, by issuing the following command: sudo systemctl start MongoDB. Let's copy this, come to our terminal session, and just paste that right there. That is it. And then if you receive an error similar to the following when starting MongoDB, then you can run a reload, which is simply like reloading that MongoDB process. Now, to verify that MongoDB has successfully started, you can use this command right here to check that sudo systemctl status for MongoDB. So simply checking the status of MongoDB daemon process. So copy that command, come back to your terminal session right here, and paste. What do we have here? It's active and running. Fantastic. Now, you can optionally ensure that MongoDB will start following a system reboot by issuing the following command. Now, this what means is that every time you start your PC or reboot it, then MongoDB or the MongoDB process automatically starts, which means you can just connect to your instance and start interacting with your database. So to enable that, which is something I prefer, is I can just click on this and enable that. So let me just create a new session here and enable that by giving in my password, and that will create that process. So every time I restart my PC or start it, the MongoDB process will start, which means my MongoDB server is up and running. Now to stop it, simply use this command. Now instead of start that we had here, instead of start, now we are doing stop to stop it. And to restart it, let's say you made some configuration changes, you can restart it using this command right here, restart. Now that we have MongoDB installed, now to connect to the session, we can just type mongosh. Mongosh in other words means Mongo shell. This will connect to a local instance, which is on port 27017 here. So let's confirm that. We can just type here mongosh. Fantastic. And you see, if you have this here, you can just look at it. It's more of the storage engine that MongoDB uses. We have Wired Tiger, and also maybe telling you some warnings on the performance of MongoDB on your server. So if you see test here, this means that our MongoDB is up and running, and we can just check, for example, show DBs, and then we have the admin config local. We can create a database by typing use, let's say, Mongo training, and then you see it switches and created and switched to the MongoDB training database. So if we check again, show DBs, what do we have? We now have admin config, and also we have MongoDB training. So here I can say db.create collection, and then pass the name. Let's say students name of that collection. Okay, 1, which means our collection is created. And if I type show collections, we have students collection here. I can switch to the test database still by typing use test, and that switches back to the test database. Let's also view all the DBs that we have. Show DBs, and you see we have admin, config, local, and Mongo training that I just created. So thank you all for watching this video till the end. That was the installation of MongoDB locally on your machine or servers, or what we call self-hosted database.
Thank you guys. Osego Code signing out.